Hey, you think that's great stuff? That's like just fun? Do you love shoveling snow? Brushing it away with a freaking broom? Yeah, come over here. Help me out. It is freaking cold. Like, really? It's like minus 20 degrees out here. And that's just in Celsius, of course, because that's what we have here. But in Fahrenheit, it would be, yeah. So yeah, my name is George, in case you haven't been here before. And I'm making videos about all kinds of stuff. Edmonton, Alberta in the winter. It's a snow day again. Yay. So guys, yeah, we're past the middle of December here. It's Edmonton, Alberta. We're pretty far north. And what's happening here is that the days get shorter and shorter and shorter. And this is going to change about, I think, the 21st of December, which is only a few days away when it's the winter solstice. Then they start getting longer, but it takes forever for it to get back to something that would really make you smile, you know, like you have a lot of sunshine and stuff. So what happens to a lot of people, and I'm not really immune against that, I'll admit it, is what they call SAD syndrome, seasonal affective disorder. Don't you hate names like this? It makes it sound like you have to go to the doctor for that or something like that. There are a lot of different ways of dealing with this, other than, you know, going to a shrink or taking medications or whatever, you know. Let me first explain the causes for this. I mean, number one, can you see what it is here? It's like freezing cold. Temperature is minus 20 degrees. I had to shovel the snow like during the perfect daylight hours that we have, and now I could tell already that slowly but surely the daylight is getting less and less. So the days pass really fast, and if you have to deal with this, I mean, you don't really get anything else done. It seems like you're spending most of the time in the dark. When you're outside, it's cold. And look at me. I'm dressed like a freaking pink dinosaur with a big hat on, like mittens that they make my hands look like the size of elephant feet. And you want to see my boots? Like, yeah, look at my boots.
Wow!
And that's actually a good scenario because I got decent winter clothes and I can tolerate the cold. But imagine if you don't have that, then you're really gonna you see that? It's ice under there because it's an intersection and cars tend to apply the brakes there, and then when they slide, well, every time they do, it gets polished. So that's when you wipe out. But that's beside the point. It's just, yeah, when you can dress like this, you're kind of sheltered against the cold. But that doesn't make it pleasant. I mean, just to have to put all this stuff on, that feels depressing to me. Maybe you know somebody who loves to wear all this stuff. But no, that's not me. I like to walk around in shorts and t-shirts and my beloved Crocs. Not possible at the moment. Yeah, another reason for the winter blues is that transportation gets so difficult here. When you're trying to ride a bicycle after a snowfall like this, you get frustrated because there are so many ways where you just don't get through, and then there are others where it's super dangerous because underneath that snow there could be ice, like the spot where I almost slipped on. Now check here, I'm going to cross the street. Yeah, and as you can probably tell, even walking around is not without its challenges here. It was supposed to be sunny this afternoon, obviously. That hasn't happened. There's another reason to get the moods. The weather forecast is usually full of BS. I mean, I don't know how they come up with this stuff. They're supposed to have super advanced technology, but then again, weather's just air moving around, so you can never really tell what it's going to do. Listen, another reason for the SAD syndrome is simply the timeline. Right now is December. The winter is only just beginning. Theoretically, according to the calendar, it's not even here yet. But it is minus 20 outside. And the outlook for the next like 3, 4, 5 months doesn't look all that good. You know, but we have to get into April to actually get some weather here where you can get rid of all this stuff and the sunshine is coming back out and there'll be leaves on the trees. That usually happens in early May. Put yourself in that situation. You have another 5 months of cold weather with dead trees. Everybody's hibernating except humans. Why aren't we hibernating? You have a lot more work just because you have to get rid of all the stuff that falls from the sky. And did I forget something? Probably did. Now we're getting up here to a busy main traffic rush hour road. Yeah, transportation, that's another big one. You don't want to be commuting on a snow day ever, but people have to. Can you imagine the snowplow operators that just went through the whole city over the past week or so, just making everything passable again, and well, the job starts all over again. But I don't think they're too depressed because they get paid right quite well. I don't know how it works though, because they have to be on call, right? So maybe they get paid regardless. Another reason to get depressed that I haven't mentioned yet is that you hear that blowhorn there, that they call it a gas powered blower. I find them kind of stupid, and they burn gas and make noise for very, very limited results. So I don't understand why people bother with it. All right, red light here. Gotta wait. Now we're going to cross a major inner city expressway, and it doesn't look that great, even though the traffic lanes are bare. But yeah, that's a recipe for accidents, and they do happen. I'm 100% sure that there are accidents happening today. Hopefully nobody get hurt, but that's just the way it is. It's almost inevitable. So that's another reason to get depressed about the winter or about the SAD syndrome. That's what it is. That's what I'm talking about. SAD syndrome. Am I suffering from it? You be the judge. I don't think I'm depressed, but I'm usually in a better mood in the summer. I'm a warrior against the winter blues. Fighting for the pink. Not the blue, but the pink. The winter blues, the winter pinks. I'm a pinky. A pinky boy. Ding-a-ding-a-doo. 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 Pinky boy. What can you do to beat the SAD syndrome, to not let the winter blues get you down? Well, first of all, get out and walk. You know, it warms up your body regardless of what temperature it is. Even better, if the conditions are good for it and you feel safe, go out for a bike ride. There's nothing better than a bike ride to lift your spirits, and many of you already know that. When you build up a sweat in weather of minus 20 degrees Celsius, your blood circulation is going. Your metabolism kicks in high gear. Like, it makes everything better, you know, you come alive. Don't hang out on the couch too much. Now I'm having a challenge here, how to cross over this road. Yeah, don't hang out on the couch too much, because you're gonna get frustrated for sure. You know, it's always the same thing. If you have to hang out on the couch or you want to, turn on YouTube and watch this channel.
Huh?
No.
Yeah, binge watch my channel, guys.
Yeah.
And by the way, have you seen my merch? There's a hoodie out and a t-shirt and a cup and a bag and a sticker. It all says, destinations are fake, the journey is real. Obviously, another way of beating the winter blues is put it into perspective. I mean, if you have the ability to walk around outside and breathe the fresh air, consider yourself privileged and lucky, because there are people with walkers and wheelchairs that are basically trapped at home when the weather's like that. Makes me depressed just thinking about that. Now, the number one way, and there's no particular order, but this should be number one, to deal with the winter blues: buy an airplane ticket somewhere warm, where the palm trees are always green, where you can have a coconut once in a while and perhaps even a little tequila sunrise or whatever. And then you just don't come back until it's nice here. I know, it's not everybody can do that. So let's talk about the stuff you can do when you're actually stuck here. Well, you remember when we had this huge pandemic a couple of years ago? People were doing everything online, and I think for some people that never changed. So we all tend to be on the computer a bit too much, and I think that in itself can be depressing, but it is magnified when you're stuck inside your house because it's too cold outside and it gets dark early and all of this stuff that we're dealing with right now. So I think one good way to deal with the winter blues is to get out, meet a friend at a coffee shop or whatever, at the park, whatever it is, but get together with other people. As you probably know, a lack of sunlight can cause a lack of vitamin D in your body. That's because the body can generate vitamin D on its own if it has enough sunlight. There are certain foods that have vitamin D in them, so whatever symptoms you would get from a lack of vitamin D, you can prevent these. What foods are good for vitamin D? Number one, there's dairy products. And I know that a lot of people have something like lactose intolerance or whatever, but there's less lactose in cheese and yogurt is a really good one. We make it at home all the time. Well, by making it at home, it's a lot cheaper, it's really easy to make, and that's one way of getting your vitamin D. Another good way is eating some salmon, eating some green vegetables, kale, broccoli, things like that. Even avocados, I believe. Oranges, bananas. Bananas, even if you're broke, they're only 80 cents a pound, even here. So that's a good way of getting your vitamin D. Oh man, yeah, here is my picnic shelter. Look at this. I don't know if there's any spot that doesn't have snow. Another way of preventing the winter blues, or the sad syndrome as they call it, is artificial light, or so they say. You know, I'm actually not 100% convinced about this, because just the fact that I'm sitting in an artificial light doesn't really lift my spirits. But, I mean, it's something worth trying if you have it really bad, or if you can't get out or whatever. They actually have lights that are meant for replacing the UV rays that you're missing out on when you're in the winter here. Now, some call it Happy Light. I believe you can find them on Amazon, and I will try to look one up for you and perhaps leave a link in the description, because as you may not know, I am an Amazon affiliate, and I think I made something like $5 in the last 4 or 5 years. Ding-a-ding-a-doo, 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 Pinky boy. So, you know, I cannot really take that sad syndrome too seriously, otherwise I'll get sucked in by it. But you don't have to become a patient at your shrink or something like that. Today, there are just too many people that jump to those conclusions right away. You know, there might be a lot of ways you can do something that helps you get over the winter. Another good way that just comes to my mind right now is like keep yourself busy with something that you really enjoy. Watch this. I did this. I did this. You know, if somebody could stick a banana on a canvas with a piece of duct tape and call it art, that what I just did there, it's a piece of art, guys. It's probably worth $5 million, you know. But generous as I am, I'm gonna leave it here for free. Treat yourself to a special coffee or cookie or whatever, you know. Like, just acknowledge that this is something that took you time to do and you've successfully completed it, and it's great. It feels good. By the time you get all this snow here, there are very few things that you can actually do outside in the yard and around the house. You could do things inside the house. There are things in life that you cannot control, and I think one of the best ways of beating the winter blues is just to accept that there's nothing you can do about it. The winter is going to come regardless. You could try moving to another country. You may solve one problem, but you may run into a whole pile of other ones. So there you go. This is a bit of a lighthearted video because that's what it's all about, you know, lifting everybody's mood, including my own. You can give me a thumbs up. I always like to ask you that, and you can comment on it. Comment all you want because, you know, maybe there's a lot of stuff that I don't know that you've had experience with regarding this winter blues and regarding of what you can do to get through the winter a little bit better. Like, we're in Canada here, you know, times are tough right now. Stuff is more expensive than it has ever been. Seems like it. Like, pound of apple, $4 or something crazy like that. I think I talked enough. I want to walk back home, not necessarily walking, talking. I hope you enjoyed my little insights here about the sad syndrome. No, I'm not sad. I'm fine. I could deal with a little winter. It's when you're stressed and then you have to deal with winter at the same time. That's when it gets nasty. But right now we're not there. Still smiling, even though it's like, you know, it's like, you know, it's like, you know, it's like, you know, my, you know, my, you know, it's like, you know, it's like, you know, my face is bundled into all these pieces of fabric and fake fur and whatnot. If you ever Borden, take a walk to Borden Park. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching another video. Thank you for binge watching my channel over Christmas. I'm crazy, right? Like, who does that? See you next time. Bye-bye.